The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our free bracket challenge, $2,000 winner take all. Enter today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no guys. Me, really real, villain raw, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. It don't matter to me. Big dog, little dog, underdog, long as I'm a dog. Because the dogs hit. The dog, dog was barking yesterday. Shout out to Scott for telling me. Shout out to Scott. And this is what I'll tell you about Scott. Is that Scott will never let you undersell yourself. Hey, if you like a take, go all the way in, jump the deep end. If you tell me that you swam one time, go straight to the deep end. Don't play around in the little kiddie waters no more. Go straight to the deep end. You already did it once. Go to the deep end right now. Shout out to Scott. Plus 550 in the bank. Shout out to Miami for just being horrible. And then shout out to the Raptors for not playing basketball at all. Whatever. All right, Scott Studio Reichel here. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, so ended up hitting the lock. I had the over in the Spurs game. Pretty high scoring fourth quarter, but that team can't guard anybody. So that was definitely a nice win there. For the dog, I had Toronto, who lost by 40 points. So, I don't really want to talk about that one. But Toronto led after a quarter.
They were so unserious.
They led after a quarter. Unserious. They got outscored by 28 points in the second quarter, and they ended up getting outscored by 45 in the final three quarters. But you know what? The lock hit. Shout out, by the way, to Terrell Rozier. I know that K-Zilla mentioned it was his birthday yesterday. Do you want to guess how many points Rozier had? Just asking. You want to guess?
What did he finish with?
He played 6 minutes. He had 0 points.
Oh my gosh.
So the Terrell Rozier MSG game was non-existent, but I'm sure the after party was fun.
And it's the playing 6 point. I mean, I think the playing 6 minutes part is the part that's really like, why did you didn't have to play at all?
Miami's also losing anyway. So you figure, all right, Rozier, I know some people think that as the Undertaker, he's helping you lose games. Nah, apparently they're good without him anyway, because Cat went on a 15-0 run in the second quarter alone. And that was definitely, I'd say, I don't want to say the turning point, but Miami in the second half of games is just useless. I know it's the longest losing streak of Spoelstra's career. Miami did win the fourth quarter, though, which kind of sucks, but they got smacked in that entire second half. So, yeah.
And it's crazy because, you would think that Cat had his 17 points in the second half when they got smacked. No, Cat did all that in the first half when it was a competitive game.
Yeah, pretty much.
They came out of halftime and Cat kind of did his thing a little bit, but it was everybody else. They just couldn't stop anything.
No, Knicks got a decent amount of opportunities off turnovers, and the Heat just cannot hit a jump shot. They scored 95 points. They can't shoot. It's a serious problem. So it is what it is. They'll be a playing team anyway because the Eastern Conference on the bottom end stinks. And, can't wait for Heat postseason basketball. Shout out to Heat culture.
Who do the Suns play next? Oh, they get the Bulls at home.
Bulls are 5-1 in the last 6, though. Don't sleep on Chicago. I'm assuming Giddey won't be back, but
I'm still gonna fade. I'm still gonna fade him in that game.
Of course, Toronto honestly might be starting to fully tank now based on the minutes. That was my main takeaway from that game last night because the minutes have been off. They got smacked in the last three quarters. They weren't even close on most of these possessions. It was really, really ugly. So Toronto might be a potential tanking team that kicks it into overdrive over the last month or so. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, 11 point. No, yeah, it's
they
always
teams 39 to 11.
Over. Whenever I get the over and I see an 11-point quarter or something like that, I'm like, see, this only happens when I bet on you.
It was 39 to 11 in the second quarter.
That was a 10-4 trend that they just 10-4 trend, and they scored 89 points.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's horrible.
Oh well.
All right, on to the next one. We got a couple of games here to talk about, Scott. Just a few.
Oh, quickly.
First of all, what was going on with everybody in the NBA yesterday?
I wanted to
that's
give a
the
quick
point.
shout out to Denver. That was where I wanted to go with this one.
Yeah, what's up?
Shout out
No,
to them
but
for
like
winning.
everybody in the NBA, the Rockets were down 21 points at half.
Yep.
At home to the 76ers.
Down 8 with 57 seconds left.
Who I think the 76ers at one point were questioning if they were even going to play the game. That's how many injuries on that. What? First of all, so what happened there? You had the Timberwolves, who honestly, I never felt like Timberwolves were going to win that game. There was not one point where I was like, man, they're
the entire game. And couldn't hit a jump shot.
Yeah,
So
the final possession was horrible too. And it goes back to the thing of Chris Finch actually doesn't know how to draft up a play for any crunch time. And honestly, this Anthony Edwards, he can't hit a shot in crunch time thing is a really, really tired narrative because honestly, he is not given a game plan. He's just given the ball and said, go do something.
I'll counter a little bit with Ant. I'm not going to roast him too much because I know that he's been great for the last couple weeks, but he settles for way too many jump shots late in games. It's rough. You have 20 free throw attempts last night. You're 1 for 11 from 3.
But
when you go to the damn basket in crunch time.
But when they're blitzing players at you and you have to get a shot up, like you don't trust anybody else with the ball.
No, I get it.
And that's the thing. Chris Finch has to instill into Ant that, hey, we can let me draw up a play that gives somebody else a good look at the basket. And we actually try this. Or if I want to go the Ant, okay, we're going to draw up a play that gets Ant free. He had like 3-4 guys on him.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I feel like
going on with Minnesota in crunch time. That is horrible.
I mean, I feel like you're, making good points about how they were constantly blitzing Ant, but it really feels like maybe it's just how late game offense works, where the main priority is to drain clock instead of getting a good look. It feels like your offense only starts in late game situations with 5 seconds on the shot clock.
7, yeah.
And your options are just extremely limited. And when you're going to be blitzing Ant and you don't have much time to make any other decision besides chuck the ball from a shot range that you've not really been hitting from all game, I just feel like the offense, as you said, was out of sorts. But when you go to the line 20 times, whatever the coach says or not, you got to go to the basket.
Yeah.
You got every single call last night going to the lane. You got to try something. I know Gobert got ejected. Nembhard got ejected. Nembhard is the best on-ball defender that Indiana has. And he wasn't in the game. I feel like Ant kind of settles a bit too much. You might be right. It probably is, related to each other where Finch doesn't exactly help his guys, but Ant might settle too much from the perimeter in crunch time. At the same point, though, Ant, when you're going to the line that often, you have a great dunk, and they really don't have much rim protection. I know Turner can get some dunks, but we know that the Pacers have allowed a lot of points in the paint over the years. I would have loved to have seen Ant attack the basket. On a separate note, shout out to Obi Toppin with 34 points.
Yeah.
On a separate point. Because he kind of carried Indiana to a win down the stretch.
The Obi Toppin versus Julius Randle feud. It's like the Giants and the Eagles. We get one win every now and then we feel like it's a rivalry again.
Yeah. Shout out to the Nuggets, though. What a very nice win. A classic Doc Rivers type game where you bench all your starters and you find a way to win the game.
So I saw this stat. It's not really a stat. It's just a fact. The Warriors have lost 3 games. Where is it? Who? What's that dude name?
Well, they lost to the Sixers, but the point is they didn't.
No, they lost. They lost to the Sixers. They lost to the Sixers. They didn't play anybody. They lost to the Nuggets. They didn't play anybody, and they lost to one other team. I can't remember who it was, and they didn't play anybody in that game either. And those are the only 3 losses they have since the Jimmy Butler trade.
Yeah, well, on a separate note, since you mentioned the Sixers game, I got to bring up the Sixers game again yesterday for different reasons. How the hell do you trade away Luka and Quentin Grimes in the same season? Is this a generationally bad GM season?
No, but what's up with Grimes?
Grimes had 40. He had 46 last night.
But but seriously, what is Grimes on? And I think this is no, Grimes is just actually on something else right now. I don't know what it is. Because there's been times where Quentin Grimes has gone somewhere else and they've had injuries and he's kind of been the guy and he was not doing this.
Honestly, some people are making the argument that it's usage based. I don't care. You drop 45 on 2
separate
occasions
nasty.
in a month. I don't care. You're getting
and
buckets.
Then multiple 30-point games. His points prop was at 20.5.
Yes, the usage is higher because everyone on the Sixers is hurt. I really don't care. The guy's getting buckets. I don't know what else you want me to say.
You gotta watch.
Guy's a hooper.
You have to watch. He's actually he's getting Grimes is on something else right now.
He got traded for Caleb Martin, who's like barely played and he's injured with a hip issue. It's really tough to have a worse like trade deadline than what Nico Harrison did.
And then Grimes plays defense.
He does. I know that Grimes missed a couple shots late in overtime. When you have 46, you can kind of afford to miss those. He had 46 and 13, by the way. But yeah, I wanted to mention that because damn, Nico Harrison shouldn't have a job. I feel bad for Mavericks fans. So
no, I don't. You want to know why I don't feel bad for Mavericks fans? Because 9 times out of 10, they're probably Cowboys fans. So
okay, all right.
don't really feel that bad at all. Every single time I start to try to feel bad for Mavericks fans, I think 9 times out of 10, you probably like the Cowboys too. So, oh well. All right.
Well, now they got nothing. At least, for the Cowboys, they had a basketball team that made the finals. That's one team that made the finals. Now they got nothing.
Well, it is what it is.
Okay, just saying.
What it is.
But shout out to Grimes, though, who had a 46 that unfortunately didn't mean anything at the end. But they have to bench him because he's ruining the tank by himself. They're gonna have to bench him at some point. But damn, Grimes is getting buckets out there. Very fun player to watch too.
Houston has a problem. Houston has a problem, and they're gonna find solace in this win that they battled back. But like, you have a problem, and I hope there was no cheering in that locker room. Like, if there was any cheering in that locker room after the game, no.
I mean, it might sound a bit harsh. I kind of put them in the Memphis tier. They're a high seed that nobody's really afraid of.
Yeah, and I hate to say that about Memphis because there was
one
point I could have really told you Memphis could run through the West, but like they really fell off too. So yeah,
that's
it
kind
really
of my
sucks.
point though. Like I feel like Memphis once again had a lot of upside and Ja's fun if he's healthy, but do you think any of these like play-in teams or 6 seeds are like terrified to play? No, of course not.
No, so here's the thing, and I really meant to get into the game, sorry, but so I thought that the West was going to be interesting in the playoffs because it was so competitive during the regular season. But more and more I think about it, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing as the East, where it's just a bunch of teams at the top and everybody else is probably going to get ran through.
The main difference I'd have with the East and the West is that I think that the 6 and 7 seed, Golden State and Minnesota, are very capable of pulling an upset. Detroit maybe can. I think all of the play-in teams for the Eastern Conference are completely useless. Yeah. I think they will get run out of the building. Probably in 4 games apiece. Boston might choke one. Boston might choke one. Like, who knows? But I do think that at the end of the day, the difference is the Western Conference play-in teams, in my opinion, being a bit more competitive and a bit more dangerous to maybe win a round.
Mm-hmm.
But you're looking at Atlanta and Orlando and Miami and Chicago. I mean, what's the point? That's Orlando. Yeah, I know. Just beat Cleveland. I know Mobley didn't play though, so you can put an asterisk by it. But you get what I'm trying to say. I think Minnesota as like a 7 seed or Golden State as a 7 seed is terrifying compared to whatever the Eastern Conference has. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my main difference there.
I think for me, it's really just like Golden State down there in that bottom tier of the Western Conference. Like everybody else, I'm just like, you may look like you're going to be competitive, but then when I watch the series, like you're probably out in 5. Like the Clippers, if the Clippers make the playoffs, they're out in 5.
I do want to ask you though, because right now Golden State, I believe, is the 6. If you had Houston versus Minnesota or Denver against Minnesota, would you take Minnesota in none, one, or both series? That's kind of the question here, because I actually think a play-in team might win a round in the Western Conference.
The
Eastern Conference
Houston,
is a pushover
against Houston because I don't trust Houston late game either.
The problem is they've owned Denver for the last year.
But I think this is the point where they probably would get them back, and the only reason they would get them back is because Chris Finch literally they have to blow them out or they're not winning the game.
Okay. Point is that you're picking them against Houston, so you would pick the 7 over the 2 upset in that case. 6 or 7 games probably. And Denver, we think that even if Denver wins, it's very, very tough.
But Houston's only the 2 because the Lakers are beat up right now.
Doesn't matter how you get the 2. The question is, where are you going to finish at? You can argue, since we're talking about college basketball time, that Houston would be an overseeded team because they're not 2-seed caliber.
Yeah.
So
I think they're definitely would be overseeded since they're technically 2. I didn't even realize they're technically the 2.
Yeah, they're the 2 right now. So that's the point. You're looking at the East, and it's like, who are you worried about, Orlando or Miami? No, they're going to get smacked. Minnesota, though, I think can win around. I think they're a dangerous team. Even though they lost yesterday.
I'm really getting down on Houston and Minnesota, man.
I don't know if I'm really that down on Minnesota because I already dropped all my expectations like for the first half of the season. I think they're a sleeper team that can win around. I'm not going to pick them to make it back to the Western Conference Finals, but do I think they can beat a 2? Yeah, I think they can beat a 2.
Let me look at the odds real quick. We only got 4 games, guys. We'll get there. Let me see here. I think I'm about to place a future.
Okay. But the point is whether Minnesota gets the 2 or gets the 7 or Golden State gets the 7. I might actually like their chances in a potential round 1 matchup.
Okay, so OKC to win the West is -125. Nuggets +6. Nuggets are the second. Okay,
Yeah.
Nuggets 6-1. Lakers +650. Warriors +750. Then you get to the Timberwolves at 20-1. Grizzlies 22-1. Clippers are at 25-1. The Clippers have better odds. The Clippers have better odds than the Rockets. The Rockets are 40-1.
Wait, repeat that again.
The Clippers are 25-1 to win the West. Rockets are 40-1.
The Rockets are 40-1, and they're the 2 seed in the conference. 40-1. Nobody has faith in this team to do anything.
This is ridiculous.
So once again, I think Houston could be a potential serious 2-7 upset if that ends up happening.
Yeah, what 40-1?
40-1 for a 2 seed is absolutely bonkers. It tells you that nobody has any faith in this team at all. So something to keep in mind. Shout out to Van Vliet for getting ejected last night after an atrocious 3-pointer attempt. So
yeah,
there you go. But
that's.
I'm happy you pulled that up though, because 40-1 for a 2 seed is just insane on principle. But I get it.
There's no hope.
No,
there's
not
no
really.
hope for the Rockets here.
Well, the Rockets knew going in though. They kind of stole the approach. I don't want to say from the Thunder last year, but it's the same idea. We have a young core. Well, we have a young core. We'll see what we can do, and then we'll readjust and maybe make a serious push this offseason by getting maybe Durant or doing something mid-season next year. But it feels like Houston took a wait-and-see approach to find out what the current ceiling is of their roster. And despite a regular season that's been very successful, I don't think the ceiling's that high. That's just where I stand on this team.
Okay, so who can Golden State duck where I feel confident about them getting to a Western Conference Finals?
They've been very good against OKC over the years. So I think they actually could, in theory, beat OKC in a series. In theory. I'm not saying I picked them.
So I think I'm just going to get a future on Golden State.
Okay.
Because if Golden State makes a Western Conference Finals and then loses, I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they if they just kind of sneak their way over there, like, because they're 6, they play Denver, but more than likely Houston is gonna flop that. Houston's not gonna stay the 2 seed. They're gonna fold this.
There's a chance Golden State, if we think what's going to happen actually happens, Golden State could host a second-round playoff series as a 6 seed. That could actually happen. So just keep that in mind. In theory, you could get a 6-7 matchup in the second round. And Golden State would be hosting that. So something to just keep in mind.
Huh. Yeah, so it's really Denver. It's really Denver. That's the thing that I'm looking at, and I'm like, Golden State. I don't know, because if y'all keep playing around with Denver, you.
Well, speaking of Denver, by the way, shout out to Aaron Gordon last night with 38. Want to give him a shout out too.
Oh yeah, he had a great game.
Yeah.
It was Steph guarding Aaron Gordon multiple times yesterday, and that's when I knew they were very unserious. Like, Steph was legit pressuring Aaron Gordon with the basketball multiple times. No,
it was a classic Coast game where Denver led the entire game because they went in going.
And it was the turnovers. The turnovers were so like, oh man, they completely let their foot off the gas. They let them off the hook, man. They really. Yeah, I'm getting a future on Golden State. All right, I'll get a future on Golden State. I think Golden State's going to do something. And they get a nice little path if they stay the 6 seed. Because I'm almost positive if they stay the 6 seed, they're going to get Houston in the first round. If they get Houston in the first round, we're going to hammer Golden State.
I think they would kill Houston.
We are going to hammer Golden. They should be a favorite. They should be a 6 or whatever they are, they should probably be a favorite over Houston. Okay.
If Golden State plays Houston, I would take Golden State in 5.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Let's talk that. Let's speak that into existence. All right, that was a good little conversation there. Okay, let's talk about a few things before we get to the games on the slate. We got our 75K winner take all college basketball survivor contest. March has never been this exciting with a chance to win $75,000. Go enter over there at splashsports.com/SGPN. That is splashsports.com/SGPN. We're also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. All those odds that I was just talking to you, that I was reading off, and we were talking, and I'm about to place this bet 16-1 on them to win the championship, or do I go for the conference winner? And we reevaluate in the conference championship game. Conference winner is plus 750 over at DraftKings. Champion is no way but Jimmy really does want one.
He's also never won one despite all the Jimmy Butler theatrics, so he always seems to fall a little bit short.
16-1 is pretty all right.
I don't think they win the whole thing, but it's 16-1, so
Because when you get to the East, you're playing. Well, they beat Boston before.
Yeah, you could argue that Boston would want the get back, but
Yeah. And then Kenny Atkinson versus his old team in the finals. Cavs Warriors without LeBron.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's an exacta. Is there? Oh, dude. The prices on this are insane.
Once again, it makes sense because Golden State's the 6th seed, so they are priced accordingly.
Golden State to beat, or Golden State, any combination of Golden State, Cleveland. I don't even see it up here, Scott. I have to scroll. I'd have to continue to scroll to find it. Oh my gosh. The Kenny Atkinson Bowl? Yes. That's a legit angle. And if that actually happens in real life, I'm gonna be upset that I didn't bet it. So now I have to place a little bet on that, because I'll be very upset if Kenny Atkinson goes up against his old team in the finals and I didn't call it. So there we go. There's your nice little way to light $5 on fire over there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure you go tap in. New customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly over there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That is code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
We're also brought to you by Rhythm, Epic March Madness Party with Scott and all the people over there at SGP, which is tomorrow, March 19th, over there at the Awesome Stadium Swim. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. Go check it out. What? Oh,
I was agreeing with you.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. So, hey, even if you're not going, and go get in on a $250 future. One random lucky Rhythm user will have the chance to do that. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM, for a chance to get that 7-day free trial. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM, and sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party to get more information about the party going on tomorrow in Las Vegas. Scott, I've been trying to find oh, wait, there we go. Okay. Cleveland to beat Golden State is 50-1.
Okay. I was going to guess like 70, so that's fine.
Wow. Wait, what? wait a minute. Golden State to beat Cleveland's 45-1?
That doesn't make any damn sense. That makes no sense at all. Okay. That's an interesting,
I gotta stop that one.
That's wild.
Hey man, the respect that boy Steph and Steve Kerr get, boy. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't even want to tell you what Golden State to beat Boston is.
I'm going to guess 30.
You went a little bit lower, 35-1.
Okay. Ballpark. That's fine.
It's crazy. You didn't go over. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Price is Right rules.
It's really, you're scarily good at the Price is Right.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch it all the time. So,
It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite facts about Scott. How scarily good he is at the Price is Right.
You don't remember my Twitter video about Price is Right roasting those contestants?
Yes, and
it might be the best video I ever made.
Yeah. Oh man, you gotta bring that back. You gotta have like a little series.
It was a pure coincidence. I put it on. It was the 3 dumbest contestants I've ever seen in my entire life. So that was just a pure coincidence. So it is what it is. But
all right, we got 4 games to talk about here. The Atlanta Hawks are traveling to the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, to play the Charlotte Hornets. Hawks are laying 6.5 here on the road. 236.5 is the total. Injury report here, and we have for the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young is a probable for this game with an Achilles injury. Then you got Clint Capella out, Karis LeVert out, Larry Nance out. LaMelo Ball on the Charlotte Hornets side is probable with the wrist injury. We've got, I don't know. I just saw M. Garrett, and I was about to be like Miles Garrett. Marcus Garrett is probable with the back injury. We got Bridges is out and Okogie's out. Bridges is out for rest.
It's a big deal though, because he's been a monster.
No, like that's really hilarious. I
think I'll take the points on principle.
Yeah.
I know that Bridges has been great, but Atlanta I just saw lose to a tanking Nets team on the road where they basically led at halftime. They got smacked in that fourth quarter. I'll go with the Hornets to keep this close. They've faced off 3 times this season. Atlanta's 3-0, but 2 of the meetings were decided by less than 6 points. Yes, I know Bridges has been very, very good, but 6.5 for Atlanta is asking for trouble. And we've roasted this team ATS for years. Give me the Hornets plus the points.
Yeah, and Atlanta's that bad defensively that they could probably let a Charlotte Hornets team even score the basketball here. 121.8 points per game given up in since the All-Star break. That is one of the bottom 28th in the NBA. They really aren't doing anything. They're fouling a lot. The free throw rate is exponentially up between both of these two teams. So it might be who's reffing this game. It might be a whistle tonight. You might be seeing a bunch of free throws.
The refs tonight are Tyler
Ford, Rodney Mott,
and Matt Bowen.
Gotta go look into that, but probably could be a whistle here tonight. Both of these two teams foul a lot as well. Yeah, give me the points. I'm not laying these points with Atlanta on the road. They can't play any defense. Can't lay points on the road. You don't play defense.
Yeah, give me the over on LaMelo shot attempts for this game. With no Bridges, what are you serious? Like, you might jack up like 35 shots.
Yeah, it might be. It might end up 17 for 30 or something like that.
You're giving him 17 makes? That's a pretty big compliment for LaMelo.
It's the Hawks. Yeah, I give him 17 makes. Oh, well, I mean Dyson, but I give him 17.
All right, I'll give LaMelo. I'll go 12 for 29.
12 for 29. Okay.
That's where I'm at for LaMelo. He'll attempt like 15 threes, so we'll see how he does. But
it's 17 for 30, but he's going to be 2 for 10 from 3.
Okay. All right.
So that's where I'll do the trade-off. He's not efficient from 3, but when he gets inside, he starts scoring.
All right. We both have him being inefficient from 3. I just have him being inefficient as a whole. That's the main difference here.
Oh, man. All right. Totals at 236.5. I mean, I can't get there because you got a Hawks team that plays no defense and a Charlotte Hornets team that really tries their best not to score.
Yeah, they did play a couple days ago. Played it 6 days ago. Atlanta did win that game by 13. Bridges at 31 there. LaMelo did play. He had 25 on 6 of 21 shooting, by the way. So maybe I'm on the right track.
Oh, wow. Oh crap! Dang, 6 of 21.
Trae at 35 and 12. So I mean, Trae was 21 of 21 from the free throw line, which is disgusting. But the point is that Trae,
if he's anything, he's efficient.
I know Trae was 7 of 20 from the floor, 0 of 5 from 3, and finished with 35 points. If that was Shea, people would be just burning Twitter down to the ground. Yeah, I'll go with the Hornets. Hopefully, Trae doesn't go to the line 21 times again.
And it's crazy because Shea's actually getting fouled. Trey
Oh
might.
no, I think the Shea hate is insane. I think Shea's an
Yeah.
absolute monster of a player.
It's very, very interesting. And it's crazy. You keep talking about the Shea hate, and I'm like, wow, there's people hating on him? Really?
On Twitter, it's insane. Then again, NBA Twitter likes to hate on everything that's popular, for being honest. I mean, even with Joker, and I understand that the defensive criticisms are fair, it gets brought up like every single game. Which, once again, you want to paint the whole picture, but these are like two of the only MVP candidates in the entire league. And like half of NBA Twitter is like, yeah, but they're flaws though. Like these guys low key suck. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what the hell? Like, why
Who
can't you
is
just
your
enjoy the
MVP?
players? It's Shea. I don't think it's close.
No, I was like, who's the people on Twitter? I would love to know who their MVP is. They probably
Usually
like
the
Paul
people
George.
ragging on the other one are voting for the other guy. So it's like complete agenda. I'm voting for Shea. Joker is actually like the most useless defender imaginable. And then people commenting on Shea, yeah, but he doesn't like get rebounds or, he's a flopper. It's like, bro, these are like the two best players in the league. Like, can you at least try to enjoy the sport? Like, I love watching Shea play basketball. I have a great time watching Shea play basketball.
Yeah.
So.
Unguardable. All right. Let's get on to the next game. Brooklyn Nets. Your Brooklyn Nets on the road want to play the Boston Celtics. Boston's laying 13.5 here, Scott, against your Brooklyn Nets. 213.5 is total. Josh Tiven on the call tonight.
Okay.
Did you see last night? I didn't get what actually happened to him, but Scott Foster left the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Scott Foster left the game last night.
Didn't know that.
They were going with 2 referees. I didn't get the update on what happened to Scott Foster, but I was watching and they were like, Scott Foster just left the game. I was like, what?
Did Chris Paul send somebody after him?
Yeah, like, wait, what happened to Scott Foster? I got to go back and look up and see what happened. Somebody will probably tell me before we get off of here. Noah Clowney, ankle probable. We've got Zaire Williams, who is probable as well. So it looks like the Brooklyn Nets have as much as a full roster that they can. No Cam Thomas, of course. He got hurt, done for the year.
Yep.
Tatum is questionable. Ooh, with the knee injury. And no Jaylen Brown. Wait, and they're still laying 13.5?
After just beating this team by 2 points a couple days ago.
Wait, what?
It's so many points. It's such a wild number. I mean, there's really there's 2 or 3 ways that the Celtics cover, and it involves a 30-point masterclass from either White, Pritchard, or like Hauser, or some combination of the 3. That's how they cover, because once again, Tatum might not play and Brown's out, and the Nets are pretty healthy. The Nets have actually lost 2 of the 3 meetings this season by less than 5 points. They faced off one time in Boston back in November. Game went to overtime, and the Nets lost by 4. I'm taking the Nets. 13.5 is way too many points for a team that's randomly been competitive against this Boston team. Boston is awful against the spread, laying double digits, and they might be missing their best 2 guys.
What's the updated number on that stat? So the only issue that would give me pause here on betting Nets, I'm very, very close to betting Nets. The only thing that's giving me pause is that I know for a fact when the Celtics lay up against a team and they go play that team again, they normally kill them that second game around. So that's the one thing I'm concerned about. But dog, what? 13.5 and you may not have Jason Tatum and you definitely don't have Jaylen Brown. I don't want any part of that handicap at all. I'd rather wait till a live number or something like that. Boston Celtics this season as a double-digit favorite are 13-21-1 against the spread, 38.2%.
It's honestly better than I thought it was.
Have fun with that, guys. Yeah, Nets plus 13.5. Very
for a total of 213.5. Is that gonna be many points? I'll take the points.
Yeah, very much so. Taking the points. All right. Got Milwaukee Bucks on the road going to play the Golden State Warriors, who just played yesterday, and more than likely are probably going to be bitching the entire roster today.
Mm-hmm.
The line has flipped. I did see it at Golden State was a favorite last night while that game was still going on. Immediately flipped over to Bucks -3 when Steve Kerr said, "Yeah, I don't know if Steph's going to play tomorrow." I have so many thoughts and feelings about this game that's going to really piss me off. 227.5 is the total. injury report, like I said, you'll see for Golden State tomorrow. But you've got Giannis, who is probable. You got Dame Lillard, who is probable. You got Gary Trent Jr., who is probable. And then Sims and Bobby Portis. Well, Bobby Portis is out, but Jericho Sims is out too. All right. Scott. Oh, Golden State could really, really piss us off and win this game for no reason after Steph is ruled out, like we know he's probably going to be.
I mean, the main issue you have is trusting Milwaukee, and that's really the elephant in the room here, because on paper they should beat Golden State, and we know that Milwaukee's been better lately. They are on the road; they're 14.
They have their moments, though. They do have their moments.
They have their moments. Beat the Lakers, who had nobody. Beat the Pacers in a good win there after the Halliburton 4-point play revenge game, and then they got killed by OKC. But every team gets killed by OKC, so that doesn't really matter.
The thing about the beating the Pacers is you should have never lost the first game.
Yeah, to be fair, that was just a ridiculous shot by Halliburton. But yeah, you're not wrong.
No, but then they take the game before that too. Like, yeah. Oh man, it's.
I'm gonna take Milwaukee because I don't know how Steph sits by himself.
No,
if they're already pulling the plug on Steph, then why would Jimmy Butler and like Draymond Green play in this game?
I think Steph's not going to play. I wouldn't be surprised if Draymond sits as well. But I would be. It feels like Jimmy. They could sit Jimmy. Why would you sit Jimmy? At least see what the team looks like with no Steph and Jimmy.
I know Butler a couple weeks ago had like some back spasm stuff, so maybe if they want to try to like keep him healthy, but he looked fine yesterday.
And then Kuminga might sit because he just came back from injury.
I'm a bit annoyed though that Bobby Portis is not playing because with Steph being out, I would have blindly requested a Draymond ejection prop, and now I just don't have that. So like, I wish I had that opportunity, or I wish Pat Bev was still on the Bucks,
or at least he was with the team on the sideline. Like if Bobby Portis is in the arena, Draymond's getting that tech.
Isn't that a running joke though? That like when Steph doesn't play, Draymond gets ejected like all the time. Isn't that like a running joke that happens?
Is that? I have to go.
I remember that being a thing. People would accuse Draymond of like intentionally leaving games early because Steph wasn't playing and he just didn't want to be there. I remember that was like a rumor like a year ago, I think. So I want to pull that up actually, but
just getting ejected, fouling out. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he just doesn't want to be there. So he's like, all right, I'm just going to find a way to get ejected as soon as possible.
I really, my gut is telling me do not trust Milwaukee here. I'm going to go Milwaukee because it's the only thing that makes sense. But my gut is telling me really do not trust Milwaukee here.
Okay. I'm going to go Milwaukee, but I'm probably not going to bet it. Because the argument is if you do think Draymond and Butler, maybe one of them also sit, the line's going to move a couple more points. So I might as well get some CLT out of it.
Yeah.
I just don't see Steph sitting alone in this game. Because if you're sitting Steph, you're kind of punting the game anyway.
But that's the thing. I am giving the Milwaukee the best case scenario right here. The best case scenario is Steph sits and multiple other people sit, and you should cruise to this game. But goddamn, Milwaukee really like. Sometimes Milwaukee really pisses me off.
No, I agree with you. I think my approach for this game will be to try to get a middle out of this. I'll go for Bucks and now. If the Warriors go to like 5.5 or 6, I'll bet Golden State. And then if Milwaukee wins by like 4 or 5, or maybe even 6 if I get 6.5, then I double win. Maybe I'll go for a middle in this game.
And maybe that's it. Maybe Milwaukee wins by like 1-10. Yeah. And they are not impressed by the effort that they had that night, but they walked out with a win and they're happy. You know what? That sounds like a Doc Rivers game. Okay, I can get behind that. Milwaukee 1-10.
So once again, maybe I'll aim for the middle, but for closing line value, I'll go with the Bucks -3.5.
All right, like it. Bucks -3. Glad we talked that out. Cavs, you don't have to talk to me about this at all. This line's gone down.
Fun game though.
This line's gone down, and maybe it's because the Clippers are at home.
Well, they've been good lately. Norman Powell's healthy and Kawhi's healthy. I think that's why the line's pretty short.
Yeah, but even with them all, okay, first of all, Cavs are on the road going to play the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers are catching 3 at home. 231.5 is total. Injury report here. And like you said, Norman Powell, not on the injury report. Kawhi is playing. Only person up, well, the only people up here are Seth Lundy and Jordan Miller. Both of them are out. For the Cavs, healthy injury report as well. You have Evan Mobley, who was a questionable for this game.
He did miss the last game, for reference.
So, okay. I understand that the Clippers have been horrible. They've started to pick it up a little bit, but for all intents and purposes, they've been horrible. This is the best situation for the Clippers to play this game, where they get to actually test themselves and see how they match up with the best team in the league. With that being said, on their best day, I don't think they have anything for Cleveland. I mean, outside of, I still think Norman Powell's still going to have a pretty difficult day trying to score. And they match up well with Powell. Kawhi's going to do Kawhi things. It's just how aggressive is he going to be? And then we get to flip a coin on which version of James Harden we see.
To be fair, Harden has been very solid recently.
He has. But this is also the number one defense in the league. How are they going to score today? Consistently. They're going to have their moments. But how are they going to consistently score today? Because I think Zubac is going to be in hell today.
Maybe. I think he should with Allen, but if Mobley doesn't play, that helps. So
yeah,
I'll meet
of course. If Mobley doesn't play, it definitely, yeah.
So you're going Cleveland?
Yeah, I feel. I mean, all these players coming. I get it. This is the most healthy the Clippers have been in a while, but I'm just not a believer in this Clippers team that they have the firepower that's going to keep up with Cleveland, especially if Mobley plays. If Mobley plays, I think Mobley has the matchup. He's going to have a great day scoring. We'll see how Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are able going in the backcourt. I'm pretty sold on Cleveland here, Scott.
You also forgot to mention Cleveland off a loss.
Oh, yeah. What am I doing? Didn't even mention Cleveland off of a loss. The only thing that really concerns me is that the Clippers have some type of voodoo power when they get into into that new stadium, and they give people that they probably shouldn't have gained. But I mean, overall, for the past month, they played trash teams, and when they played anybody of substance, the Lakers, they lost back-to-back games.
I think for this game, even though I do agree that Cleveland is a great team, this is the trap line of the night for me at the moment. You could argue maybe it's Milwaukee, but we'll see.
Ooh.
I'm going with the Clippers in this one. I do wonder if Mobley's going to play or not, because Cleveland wrapped up the 1 seed a long time ago. They were ahead of Oklahoma City as well by a couple games. Like, it's really not that big of a deal at this point. I do think, though, the Clippers, when healthy, are very dangerous. And we talked for about a month straight about how bad this team was because Norman Powell wasn't playing. And Powell has been an absolute monster all season long. He should be at least one of the favorites to win Most Improved. It's going to go to Cade at this point, but still, shout out to Norman Powell, who got robbed of an All-Star appearance. But I think the Clippers at home are dangerous, and I feel like 3.5 with a mostly healthy Cavs team feels dangerously short, like sketchy short. I'm going to try to, maybe I'll get cute with it, but I'm going to try to avoid the bait. Give me the Clippers money line at home. I think with a fully healthy roster, with Harden playing great basketball, Kawhi has been great lately, and Powell as well, I'm going to give the Clippers a shot here. You got the Cavs off a Sunday morning game, or Sunday afternoon game, at home. Now you're traveling West Coast. It's a bit of a weird travel spot there. You had a day off in between, but still. I'll go with the Clippers. I'll take a stand saying this is the trap line of the night. Give me the Clippers. And I think Mobley's not going to play, but that's just a hunch for me. So.
The best team in the league?
Yeah.
I think they're going to have their moments, but...
A part of me is concerned about Cleveland once the streak ended. Are you really playing for much at this point, or are you kind of just playing out the string? I guess my concern for Cleveland, are we sure the motivation's going to be there for the rest of the season? Now that there's no narrative to build. You clinched the 1 seed basically in the Eastern Conference already. I know you're competing with the Thunder for the actual 1 seed overall. They're 56-11. For reference, the Thunder are currently at they're 56-12. So I guess Cleveland does have to keep trying. You have an extra game in your back pocket, but I don't know. I wonder if mentally there's going to be a little bit of a letdown after having your winning streak blown at home to Orlando when you led by double digits in that game. I'm wondering if it's a letdown spot with travel. So I'll go with the Clippers in the sketchy line.
I'm going to go with the Cavs to get up, man. Right. 7-4-1 ATS since the All-Star break. 4-9 for the Clippers. Again, Clippers been beat up. They're getting everybody back, but I think they just ran into the wrong team. Tonight.
Could be. It just feels like at full strength, Cleveland should be like 5.5 or 6, and the fact that it's 3.5.
No, I understand there. I will give you that. When I saw that I was only 3, I broke my fingers trying to go bet it because I'm like, what are you doing here?
I don't know. It feels like a trap line to me. I'll fall for it, I guess, or I won't fall for it in this case.
But it is going down. It was at 3.5, and there's some 2.5s out there now.
Unless you believe that's solely correlated to Mobley not playing, which is a
potentially, but still, okay. If Mobley, if you're saying that Mobley's definitively out, then okay, I understand Cleveland minus 2.5 because now I see the path for the Clippers playing. And I guess that's the only. If Mobley's out, I see the path for the Clippers. The Clippers to win. But if Mobley plays, I just think that's too much.
Yeah, that's fair.
The total is where I'm at, Scott. Under 232.5.
Okay.
I think both teams are getting up defensively. Both have especially if Mobley plays. Both teams have I think they have the rim protection. They have the wing defenders. Let's see what's the pace looking like. Clippers run a devastatingly slow pace. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I like the under. That's a sneaky, really good play. That's a lot of points there. 232.
Yeah, I like the under. I mean, if I'm picking the Clippers to keep this game very competitive, maybe win the game outright, I don't see a shootout with Cleveland. So I agree with you. I'll go with the under.
All right. Lock, dog, underdog. All right, Scott, set us off. We had a good day.
For the lock, the more that I actually think about it, the more I like the under in that Cavs game. I'll go with the under.
Dude.
I'll go with the under in that Cavs game. I think that total's too high. I understand that Cleveland, of course, is an elite offensive team. However, they have scored less than 113 in 3 of their last 4, which I feel is kind of underrated. As for the Clippers, they've allowed less than 99, in 2 straight games. Yes, they were against really bad teams. But still, the Clippers defensively have been solid. They're 23-10 at home, so I think they should look sharp. I'm picking a close game, so I think that'll be a more low-scoring game. Give me the under as my lock there at 232.5. For my dog in this one, I'm trying to think of what I want to go with because there were a couple things I was intrigued by. Do I want to get cute and go Boston 1-10? Because a part of me thinks Boston is going to win the game anyway because the Nets just find ways to basically punt games late. But I do think the game will be close. Milwaukee 1-10 makes sense too. If you want to go Charlotte, I'm not going to hate that either, but I really wanted Bridges to play if I was going to make any case for Charlotte to win the game. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go for it. Give me Boston a 1-10 for the win margin in this one. They might be benching half the team, but I think they're good enough to win at home anyway. But it's going to get weird. Boston 1-10's plus 255. Really? I mean, you mentioned that they were like 13-21 ATS as double-digit favorites. Give me a close win. The 2 of their 3 wins this season against the Nets have been within 5 points. So give me Boston 1-10 at plus 255 as my dog.
I have no idea what I want to do for a lot.
Did I steal your under?
I was only sold on the under.
That's why you let me go first. Snooze, you lose.
No, I know. Dude, I was really only sold on the under. I already gave out Cleveland.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the dog. Milwaukee 1-10. I feel the bad voodoo vibes. The only thing that screws us is a Golden State win outright. I don't think they're running away with that one. I think they're going to play around with their food.
Okay.
For the lock, I guess it's Brooklyn plus 13.5, man.
That so many points.
That feels like I'm kind of cheating, and I'm kind of doing the same thing you're doing with Boston 1-10, though.
I mean, we're on the same
Oh,
page.
yeah,
on this,
dude.
though.
Nah, dude. We just got to double out the Clippers under. I can't get there. We got to double out the Clippers.
All right.
Ah, fuck. It's not good.
We're going to test it out. It's fine. We're going to test it out.
Oh, man, dude. I really didn't want to have to do it. I really can't get there anywhere. Like, I'm almost there on Brooklyn. I am. I just know Boston. And when they played teams horrible the first time and let them hang around, and it's like immediate, because they did it where they let the Bulls actually win the game, and they destroyed them the next game. Yeah, man. All right. We're both locking up the Clippers and the Cavs under 232.5. You're on Boston 1-10. I'm on Milwaukee 1-10. Let's get the underdog. How we feel about the Bucks in the finals if they get there?
I mean, I don't think they're beating Boston or Cleveland in the series, so I don't think it's really gonna happen,
if they get there. I mean, it could be the same thing that happened last time around. All the injuries just pile up and they cruise in. Like,
I mean, it's the one thing I'm 100% hoping for. I hope Giannis stays healthy. Whether they win or lose early, I hope he stays healthy because he's a great player to watch. Of course.
Yeah, and I'm tired of seeing the Bucks going like what that playoff series. What was it last year where Dame and Giannis didn't play?
Yeah, and the Pacers beat him.
And then it was the one before that where Giannis didn't play, and they were playing against the Heat. Yeah, would love to see Giannis actually play in a playoffs, an entire playoffs.
By the way, since you didn't mention it, Bucks 1-10s plus 230.
Thank you. All right, what are we doing on Underdog today?
For Underdog, you know what? Yeah, I'll get a bit weird with it. What is Trey's? I was gonna say what's Trey's lower on his 2.5 made 3-pointers, but I think it's 2.5. I'll go with the lower on that.
There we go, 2.5 lower 3-pointers made. Terribly inefficient, these guys.
He's going lower on 8 of his last 10. I mentioned Trey all season. He's a terrible 3-point shooter percentage wise.
I mean, Giannis is at 27.5 points.
Unless you think, you think that Golden State hangs around, so that would give you a script for Giannis to have a monster game.
Yeah,
because you're not worried about him being pulled or anything. So
yeah, and it's everybody else that's gonna fold, not Giannis.
I guess my counterpoint would be: would you rather take points and rebounds, or would you rather just take points?
Ooh, good question. What you think Looney's going to do against him? Because it's more than likely going to be Post and Looney.
I mean, I think Looney's actually a good thing for Giannis because you have one guy he could just camp in the lane with, you know?
Yeah. Should be a healthy dose to Post and Looney today. All right, let's go points and rebounds.
Okay.
40.5.
And I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want that caught my eye.
Yeah. So if he has like some crazy rebound game, it's like 25-16, we still get that. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm cool with that. Because if he has 25 points, that'll piss me off.
I really didn't see much, honestly, from what I'm looking at.
So let's see. We like the under in the Cavs and the Clippers game. Could see that going either way. Yeah, let's get back into this Hawks and let me see. Where's the LaMelo? When in doubt. Or Mark Williams, because you got no Capella, a little bit undersized on Kongwu.
I think I'd rather go for Mark Williams. I mean, LaMelo's at 27.5. So.
All right, Mark Williams. 16.5 points, 12.5 rebounds here.
I want the rebounds. In the two meetings, he's
spicy too.
Yeah, he played against them 6 days ago. He had 14 rebounds in 25 minutes, and he has had at least 12. He's had at least 12 rebounds in 6 of the last 9. He's had 13 in 4 of the last 8. So, the rebounds have been solid against this team. So I don't mind Mark Williams.
So Trae Young lower 2.5 3-pointers made. Giannis higher 40.5 points and rebounds, and we got Mark Williams higher 12.5 rebounds. That gets us to 6.36x make sure you go use that promo code NBA SGPN over there. Underdog Fantasy, special pick, and first time deposit offer. All right. Anything else for people before we get up out of here, Scott?
Not really. I got a flight to Vegas in about 4 hours, so I'll be Pacific time when I land. Probably going to record tennis tonight. I know I'm not on NBA tomorrow, but I'll be at the Rhythm Party tomorrow. So if you want to meet me in person, you know where to find me.
All right. There it goes. And I'll be back with Lonte tomorrow. Hopefully celebrating another winning day. All right, he's at Red Show Radio. I'm at really real __. Make sure you give us a follow at SGPN NBA on X. Give us a like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff on YouTube, youtube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast, and a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. With that, have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to do like this. We are out of here.